A new Harris poll shows that young people in this country are losing faith in free enterprise at a very rapid clip. About half of millennials respond and say they would prefer to live in a socialist country. Katie Pavlich is an editor at Town Hall, and she joins us tonight to explain what exactly is going on. Hey, Katie, I mean, if this poll had been taken 20 years ago, I think people would have assumed that there was something wrong with the way it was weighted. No one would have believed this. What has changed?
Well, today people do believe it, because when you talk to young people on college campuses, like I do on a regular basis, they do think that they believe in socialism. Now, this is a culmination of decades of the left having a monopoly on education, and through their indoctrination, not starting in college, but at kindergarten through K through 12, they're talking about socialist policies, Marxist policies, and even communism as better ways of economies than capitalism. And they're doing it in a resentful way, turning Americans against Americans, telling young kids in elementary school that the reason why they're worse off is because somebody else is rich. And you and I know that's not the case. They've been very successful at breeding this resentment. The class warfare is coming to fruition. And let's not forget that this did start really coming to a head under Barack Obama, when he was accused of advocating for socialist policies, when he talked about spreading the wealth around. But you were a racist if you decided to talk about that type of ideology, about socialism, right? So we didn't talk about it. And then people like Bernie Sanders now, AOC, have taken advantage of that smear and have promoted it as a society that we should be embracing, while not just Venezuela falls apart, but states like New York and California fall apart as a result of these kinds of policies.
So why didn't the generations of pro-market education sponsored by the permanent conservative establishment have any effect?
Well, I think it's had somewhat of an effect, but the truth is that the conservatives just aren't in the education system, the public education system, like we wish they could be. I mean, if you look at the percentage of college professors who are conservative, it's just like the White House press corps. Something like 7% of college professors identify as Republicans. And of course, professors and administrators all over the country have done everything they can to squash any kind of dissent, to talk about this conservative ideology. And students on campus are punished for having a different ideology than, I don't know, the Marxist poster that's on the wall of one of their professors in one of their classes, such as mine when I was in college. And so there's a damaging effect in terms of conservative students not being able to speak up for what they want, and then conservative professors being non-existent in a way that teaches young people something they haven't heard before. You can't blame people for not knowing something they haven't been told. And the only thing that they've heard from preschool to college is about how socialism is fine, it's a better system, it's more fair. They play to the emotions here. But I will say there's plenty of organizations like PragerU, for example, that does do educational videos that are educating young people on these issues, and hopefully can turn the tide when it comes to socialism, because it's not good for young people. Everybody thinks that it allows you for more freedom, more liberty, but the fact is it makes every single person the same and limits your ability to be yourself, an individual. And I don't know any 18 to 30-year-old who wants to be controlled by anybody else, right? And so when you tell them that there are rules attached and that you don't get to make decisions on your own, that everything is a one-size-fits-all policy mandated by the government, that you don't have a choice, they tend to change their mind.
Young people believe their professors. I've never understood that. It never occurred to me to believe a college. They strike me as some of the least impressive people in the world. I don't know why you'd believe them, but they do. Katie Pavlich, great to see you.
Thanks, Tucker. See ya.